nothing wrong at all. She's just about to evolve. And then you're in big trouble, Squirreloid.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow! An Espeon!
Ha ha ha! I'm gonna win this time, Squirreloid!
Oh, wow! A Leafeon, too? It's a double evolution!
Huh?
What's that, Ash? A quadruple evolution? That's unheard of!
Huh?
Wow, Ash! That's every evolution of Eevee! How are you possibly going to control them all? Yeah, that would be hard for any Pokemon trainer. Come on, guys. I'll show you where the Squirrel Stampede snack bar is.
Squirrel Stampede! Please like.
And Squirrel-Ibe!
Come along, Leafeon. Show me where all those acorns are hiding.
On the table, it is all about Pokemon Mega Construx Wonder Builders every Eevee Evolution. We have 9 very colorful evolutions of Eevee inside, 470 pieces of build. There is a lot of Pokemon in this pack. On the back of the package, the 9 variations of Eevee to build, with this package keeping things very well organized, pieces and pre-sorted compartments, plus other figures available and all the fine print.
Ooh, that's a lot of fine print, Squirrel.
On the side of the box before we open, see if I can pronounce them all. Included inside, Vaporeon, Flareon, Espeon, Jolteon, Leafeon, Sylveon, Glaceon, Umbreon, and of course, Eevee.
A little bit overpronounced, but not bad.
Okay, let's open up. And there we have the 9 packages of Eevee. That's fairly well organized. If you recall, we've built a single packed Eevee before, a couple times I believe. I think this was the most recent time, Series 8 or 9, somewhere in there. We'll start by building Eevee again, and then go on to the evolutions. So opening up, it looks like we're just gonna peel these out. We have our first bags of Eevee, let's build away. And constructed, we have our basic Eevee looking cute as always, about the same size as Landry over there.
Yeah, what do you know?
I don't think I really see the piece count for each separate figure. Eevee is about 22 pieces, I believe. And looking very familiar to the Eevee of the single packs we have built before. This is a more modern design of Eevee. There was an earlier one with less of a fuzzy collar around her neck. Mega Construx does a superior job of giving us a different facial feature though each time. This Eevee from before winking, whereas our new Eevee here standing is open-eyed. I don't really want to say angry, but maybe focused on an evolution or so. Pretty good jointed Eevee figure with ball joints everywhere. You can have quite a bit of fun posing these characters in different positions. Now we have the biggest decision of the day. Which evolution are we going to work with first? Do we do this alphabetical? Do we do this favorite color like? What shall we do? I think I've decided to start with one of my favorites up in the top right corner, Jolteon. I like the yellow spikiness of Jolteon. The evolutions should be a little larger, so more pieces involved. Let's build away. And Jolteon constructed with flashbacks going back to that giant yellow Pikachu with yellow pieces everywhere, burning of the eyes. I think Jolteon's look turned out pretty well. I think it's about 47 pieces in total, a little more doubled than Eevee. Mega Construx is really evolving themselves through the Pokemon process of the last few years, adding more of these great rubberized pieces to their figures, and they typically feature very well on the figures. Structurally, Jolteon is pretty strong, except for maybe these back legs. I'm not really sure I like how these are built. I think you might find something may pop off easily. We'll see as we go along. But other than that, this little figure is really cool to start with. Very yellow again, but the scale being the size it is, I am excited to see more. And bringing back the Wallow Eevee. I kinda like the idea of continuing from left to right. That means Espeon is next. The all-weekend sports Pokemon, right? Okay, opening up the pack. Keep it together back there, Ash. I know we have a lot of building today, but we're really only on our third build. And to construct Espeon. Espeon constructed and ready to go. This weekend sports-loving Pokemon is one of my favorites because of the sports theme.
Dan?
Yeah, what?
It's Espeon, and she's a psychic Pokemon.
Oh, so no sports?
No sports.
Well, it's still a really great Pokemon build. The purple was much easier on the eyes, too. So far, the heads on these have been the highlights of the builds. Body construction between these first two have been pretty similar. I'm starting to be okay with these back legs. I think they're holding better now that I'm working with them more. Look at that tail. That's a cool looking tail. Such variety in all these evolutions. And we move on. And the next pick in the Wallow Eevee. Let's jump across the circles to Umbreon. You know, it's getting kind of crowded on stage. How about some of you guys take a break?
Sounds good. Come on, Ash. I'll show you where the water cooler is.
Psychic. And constructing Umbreon. Umbreon constructed the Moonlight Pokemon. I like the use of dark gray smoky pieces with this one. They could have easily gone with black, but they softened it down just a little bit and really produced a fantastic evolution. Umbreon's black fur make it well suited for battles in the dark. It can rely on the camouflage to keep it hidden while it's ready to strike. When it's angry, its sweat turns toxic. According to my all-favorite Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. Very nice build, and I really like the contrast of all the yellow lineage and circlage, ovalage, shapeage going throughout Umbreon. Back to ye old evolution wall of Eevee. Flareon is up next in the upper right. Mega constructed Flareon, a flame Pokemon but also confused with Donald Trump with that flamey hairpiece up top. Way more pieces used to build a Flareon, about 62 I think I counted, most of it in that back tail. A double stud-sided tail. The whole budget of the set was in the tail. Another good build, maybe not as fiery orange as I would have liked, yet standing next to the other evolutions, another great Pokemon build. Back to the wall, let's now build Vaporeon. Vaporeon constructed, and this one might be my favorite build out of the group so far. A little more going on with the construction of Vaporeon. Featuring a fantastically layered finned head. Took a little bit of extra time to figure out how it was constructed, especially with this rubber frill ring going around its head. I think it turned out great though. Also going down the back of Vaporeon, we have some spikiness, which goes down right to the tail, and a fishtail back there too. I really like working on the build of this one. Let's cool things down now with Glaceon. And it would be Glaceon, fresh snow Pokemon. The icy Glaceon has amazing control over its body temperature. It can freeze its own fur and then smash into an opponent with the spiky icicles that result. Nice Glaceon hair crown piece, by the way. After constructing the last two figures, this one's a little more simplistic. The tailpiece was an interesting build though. This one, unlike the others, may have a little bit of an issue going on with the plastic. It feels like some of the pieces are a lighter gray than others, but you really have to look closely. Stay cool with Glaceon. Almost to the end, we're now going to grow on a Leafeon. Leafeon constructed. Leafeon doesn't need to eat because it uses photosynthesis to generate energy. A newly evolved Leafeon smells fresh and green like spring grass, while an older one wafts the dry, crisp scent of autumn leaves. I would say this build stands on the better half of the group. I like how they've included leafly things throughout the build. Quite the leafy crown going on Leafeon's head, and Leafeon's tail build was also a nice addition. A good soft yellow color with a little lime green in there makes another great add-on to Eevee's Evolution. It's an Eevee convention out here! Evolutions going all over the place. And we are on our final build. Way in the lower right corner, Sylveon is next. And finally constructed our last evolution of Eevee. Everyone, it's Sylveon, the intertwining Pokémon. Pretty elaborate with these bow-tying like pieces. Sylveon projects a calming aura from its feelers, which look like flowing ribbons. It sometimes uses this aura in battle to trick its opponents into dropping their defenses. Pretty fancy, probably the most fanciest of the group. Kind of the most camouflaged on the table with the white pieces, but it balances out the rest of the group well. And we have now completed all 8 evolutions of Eevee. And there we have it. We have constructed every Eevee evolution from Mega Construx. A little bit repetitive with those legs and bodies, but each one is a little bit different enough to make it its own, and they really look awesome together. I think my absolute favorites in the group are Umbreon, Jolteon, and Leafeon. But really, all of them turned out great, and was a very entertaining multi-build pack. Find this set where Mega Construx Pokemon is sold. I found this over at Target. It runs approximately $60, but I was sure I got it for less than that. Have fun building, and in this case, you can catch them all. That's what I have to say about that.